Hello and welcome to episode number 6 in my Magicka Wizards bot modding series. This episode I want to completely overhaul how we were actually selecting the action. Rather than doing if then else if, I want to instead loop over a list of abilities and assign a weight to each of those, then choose the one that has the best weighted value. To start, let's comment this out. We'll probably not need that. And let's add in a new function. It's going to be part of the bot. So put bot and then colon. And what would be a good name for this? Let's call it select ability. And let's copy over a bunch of this stuff here from our other update function, just so we have access to it. And let's kind of think about here, we need a list of actions or a list of abilities to loop over. And it needs to also return a weighted value. Let's maybe go over here to abilities, and let's create a new table in the bot abilities called evaluation functions. And in here, we kind of want to think about how is that going to run. So let's have an evaluation function for each of the type or each of the abilities or combos that we want to add to the queue. And as a test one, let's just make a heal, self-heal maybe. And that'll be a function. And we also need to give it access to a bunch of data that we're going to be using. So let's give it AI data and also delta time. The function, we know it needs to return a weight. So let's add a variable for that. By default, I'm going to make it 1. And let's return that in the end. Then we'll also probably want to consider what the target is doing. Whoops. There we go, target unit data. And let's get the info from that target unit. So if we want to heal, we want to return a really high weight if the bot's health is lower than the target unit. And I guess also if it's lower than 50%. So if the AI data, or you know what, let's simplify this to the bot health is equal to AI data dot self data dot health %, and the target health is equal to the target unit data health %. So if bot health is less than 50, and also the bot health is less than the target health, or let's do weight equals 100. So because we really want to heal if we're both below health, the 50% health and the target's health. Otherwise, we'll return a weight of 1. So if nothing else has a weight greater than 1, we'll by default just be healing. And then if the value is 100, we will heal as well. Let's also add in a second ability. Just to see, so we have more than one to choose from. We can see if the weights actually work or not. And let's do rock, maybe. Rock is a really good ability. It's just a high damage and pretty simple conditions. We don't really need to change anything here, I don't think, except that we want to make it the exact opposite. So it'll be if the bot's health is greater than 50%, or the bot's health is greater than the target's health, And we're going to make the weight slightly lower because we want healing is more important than doing damage if we really need to. And we also want to check if the target's ward has earth in it, because we don't want to use this ability if they're warded for it, right? So we can do here target unit data dot ward dot earth is greater than equal to 1. So if whoops, let's add in a and you know what, less than or equal to 0. I think that makes a bit more sense. So if the bot's health is greater and the target is not warded earth, then we really want to cast a rock. Now, we have these two conditions that return a weight, but we don't know which ability actually is supposed to be cast or which combo is supposed to be cast based on this evaluation function. So in Lua, what we can actually do is add a second item that we're returning. And let's do bot abilities dot here, it was heal dot self channel. And I just want to peek at this here. Self channel, and oh, there's actually an issue here. I accidentally put in a shield into the self channel heal, so that won't actually work. Let's change this to WWW so that it's not actually, because what it would do instead is ward healing instead of self channeling healing. That's definitely not what we want, but that should work now. And then here we'll do the same thing, but we're going to return bot abilities dot projectile. And what's Earth Shatter? I think it's just regular Earth projectile. Let's make sure we save that and back over to bot logic. So we have the weighted values that we're creating here and the ability that should be cast if that's the highest weighted value. But we still need a way to actually loop over those. So in our selectability function here, what we're going to have to add in is a couple of things to track which one is the highest running ability. So local highest score, and by default it'll be 0. That way if anything has a value of 1, we'll cast that one. Highest scoring ability, nil, so it'll just be nothing for now. We can track which one actually had the highest ability. And then here I'm going to do highest scoring ability key, also nil. Then let's insert a for statement. And we're going to loop over all the pairs in this evaluation function table. So for each function in that table, which is abilities.evaluation functions. And keep in mind here, I just have bot abilities renamed at the top of the file to make it, I don't know, easier to remember or something. So for each of these evaluation functions, we want to get the return values. So we want to figure out, like actually run the function and figure out which one has the highest score. So let's do local temporary score equals, I don't know, what would we call this here? The suggested queue. Or actually, not. Hold on. Let's do, sorry, because we know that this is going to return two values here. The second return value is what the suggested Q is going to be. And it's going to be equal to, and we have to actually call this function. So let's rename this the value to instead evaluation function. So the value here is actually this function, or this one. And we're going to call it, and it needs the AI data and DT, which we have here. Then we need to check if the temporary score on the one we just ran is higher than the existing score that we had before. So if highest score is less than the temp score, then we'll want to do high score equals the temporary score, the highest scoring ability equals the suggested Q, the highest scoring key equals the key. Now here, key is actually equal to the name of this function. So this will be either self-heal or rock. And we can kind of use this for debugging. So if we find something that's a higher value, we can do print f. So we're going to print a formatted text of ability. My goodness, can I type today? Then we're going to put in the key and the new high score. You know what, let's do the highest scoring key. That way we can also just copy this down here, and we can say that the best high score is that one as well. That looks good there. And then, of course, now that we've actually figured out which one is the best in the circumstance to cast, we'll want to actually add it to the queue. Action, and we're going to want to just put in the highest scoring ability, right? And you know what, let's rename this. Instead of suggested Q, suggested ability. I think that makes a little bit more sense. Now, if we were to run this, I'm thinking there might actually be an issue. So a lot of our abilities, if we look here, like the self-channel heal, doesn't have anything attached to it, but the earth shatter I think does, doesn't it? Target is valid. Cancel if no target. Okay, no, these would work. But if we were using any of our other abilities here that had stuff from these condition groups, it would cancel if we need to ward and stuff, right? Yeah, if bot needs to ward. Which actually, you know what? Let's add these into all of this here. Because we don't want to cast a beam or a spray if the bot needs to ward. We don't want to no target, cancel if need to ward. Yeah, so all of these abilities will actually cancel if we need to ward. But we never tell the bot to ward. We only tell them here to choose the highest ability, right? So let's actually uncomment this. Get rid of all this here. We don't need that anymore. And then put in here the select ability instead. So again, instead of this like if then else, we're choosing which combo to do. Let's do, whoops. My goodness. There we go. So we're going to put in self select ability. So we're telling the bot to select ability if we don't need to ward. I think that should be enough to get that all working. Let's try compiling it and running. Here we go, and we'll want something that can damage us, so let's go fight Jessica. I don't know, let's try level 5 here.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
So it's definitely working there.
Slash. You win.
Let's maybe pause our bot here. Jessica, I don't think is smart enough to actually do damage to us if we just spam rocks at her. So let's take some damage here. And we should ward, and then yeah, so we are healing. It does correctly choose if we want to heal or not. There we go. So it's doing all the stuff it should do. Let's make one more change here. So right now, if we wanted to do a combo, it just simply wouldn't work. So let's implement a way to fix that. We added a mine combo, I think, last time, right? So let's make a function for that. And here, instead of bot abilities, we want to do bot combos dot arcane mine. And instead of passing in the function itself, we'll want to do instead AI, like actually call the function and give it AI data. I think that's all it needs, right? Yeah, it has all the stuff in there. And instead of checking if the target is warded Earth, we want to check if they're warded Arcane. Then save that and go back over here. So this won't work currently because when it returns the evaluation function now, it's either going to be a function, which is our single ability, or a table, which is our combo. And we actually want to then differentiate between the two, because you can't do a new action and then add in a combo here. It's a different, you have to do Q new combo. So let's just check if the type of the highest scoring ability equals a table. Then we know it's a combo. New combo, and then we can put that in there. Else, and let's move that up there. I think everything is working there now. And let's do one last test here to see if all of those new new combos and abilities are both working in the function, or in the evaluation function.
The battle has begun. Round 1. Fight.
So it looks like it is working. I think maybe what we might also want to do is add a timer onto the ward so it doesn't continuously change wards if you spam spells at it. And I think there seems to be some kind of an issue here where it wants to heal more than it should. But it did end up killing the target. Let's have a look at the log to see why it wanted to heal so much. To do that, there is actually a quick link here in the settings. Scroll down to the bottom and then double click on the log file. All this stuff here that we were printing should show up in the log file. And at the end, it was wanting to do the mine combos. New score. Okay, so the newest score, so it was healing because there was no other abilities that it actually wanted. We could fix that by adding in additional abilities, because I guess by default it was just choosing the first one, which would have been the self-heal. So yeah, everything is working. I think I'm going to end that episode here. In the next episode, I want to go over some more stuff about raycasting. There's been some questions about that, so I'll definitely go over that, and we can incorporate that into our conditions so that projectiles and stuff can detect walls. We might be able to move around it, and who knows, maybe we'll be able to do some pathing. I don't know if we'll have time before the bot tournament, though. Either way, I'll see you in the next episode. Have a good one. Bye.